The sky above Westbrook University split open on a Tuesday afternoon. It happened without warning. One moment, students were walking across the campus quad, laughing and talking about their classes. The next moment, a sound like tearing metal filled the air, and everyone looked up. A crack appeared in the sky itself. It glowed with strange blue light, and electricity danced along its edges. Students dropped their books and ran. Some pulled out their phones to record what was happening. Others simply stood frozen, unable to believe what they were seeing. Through the crack came a figure. It descended slowly, surrounded by crackling energy. The figure was a woman, but she was covered from head to toe in armor unlike anything anyone had ever seen. The armor was black as midnight, so dark that it seemed to swallow the afternoon sunlight. It fit her body perfectly, moving with her like a second skin. She touched down on the grass of the quad, and the crack in the sky sealed itself behind her. The smell of burning air filled the space around her. For a long moment, nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Campus security officer Daniel Ortiz was eating his lunch in the nearby parking lot when the sky opened. He dropped his sandwich and ran toward the quad, his hand reaching for his radio. He had worked at the university for 12 years. He had dealt with drunk students, small fires, and once a confused deer that wandered into the library. Nothing in his training had prepared him for this. He approached the armored figure slowly. His other hand moved toward his holstered weapon, though he suspected it would be useless against whatever this was. The figure turned to face him, and he stopped walking. The faceplate of the helmet dissolved. It did not slide open or retract. It simply faded away like smoke, revealing the face beneath. Daniel saw a young woman, maybe 23 or 24 years old. She had brown hair cut short and tired eyes that looked much older than her face. A scar ran from her left temple down to her jaw, white against her tan skin. "I need to speak with someone in charge," the woman said. Her voice was steady, but there was urgency beneath it. Her accent was strange. It sounded American, but there was something else mixed in, something Daniel could not identify. "Who are you?" Daniel asked. His voice came out higher than he intended. "My name is Lily Monroe. I was a student here 3 years ago. I was taken. Now I have come back." She looked around at the crowd that was forming at a safe distance. Camera phones pointed at her from every direction. "The Valori Dominion is coming. They will arrive in 37 days. And I am the only one who knows how to stop them." Daniel stared at her. The words did not make sense. Valori Dominion? 37 days? He opened his mouth to ask what she was talking about, but Lily held up her hand. "Please," she said. "There is no time to explain this twice. Bring me to your leaders, your scientists, your military. I will tell them everything. But we must hurry." Within the hour, Lily Monroe was sitting in a basement conference room in the university's administration building. The room had been chosen because it had no windows and could be secured. Armed guards stood outside the door. More guards surrounded the building. Across the table from Lily sat Dr. Patricia Vance, the Dean of Sciences. She was a tall woman in her 50s with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had been pulled out of a faculty meeting when news of the arrival reached her. She still held the coffee cup she had been drinking from, though it had gone cold. Next to Dr. Vance sat 2 people who had arrived by helicopter just 20 minutes ago. Colonel Nathan Price was a broad-shouldered man with a shaved head and the look of someone who had seen combat. Agent Megan Walsh was younger, with red hair pulled back in a tight ponytail. She worked for an agency that officially did not exist. "Start from the beginning," Colonel Price said. "Who are you, and where did you come from?" Lily took a breath. 3 years ago, I was a junior at this university. I was studying biology. One night, I was walking back to my dorm from the library. A light appeared above me. I could not move. I felt myself rising into the air. She paused. I was taken aboard an alien vessel. I was not the only one. There were dozens of us from different countries. We were specimens. Agent Walsh leaned forward. Specimens for what? The Valari are an ancient species. They have ruled a vast empire for 10,000 years. Their technology is based on crystals that can store and channel enormous amounts of energy. They have conquered hundreds of worlds. They thought Earth was unimportant. Just another planet full of primitive creatures. What changed? Dr. Vance asked. They discovered something about humans. Something that scared them. Lily placed her hand on the table. They call it the resonance. It is a frequency that exists in human neural pathways. Our brains can connect with Valari crystal technology in ways that no other species can. When a human mind touches their crystals, something happens. The technology changes. It evolves. It becomes more powerful than anything the Valari have ever created. Colonel Price frowned. You are saying humans can use their technology better than they can. Not just use it. Transform it. The Valari have been using the same crystal technology for thousands of years. They understand it completely, or so they thought. But when human minds connect with it, the technology does things they never imagined possible. Lily's eyes grew dark. They experimented on us. They wanted to understand why. Most of the human subjects died. Some lost their minds. I survived. How? Agent Walsh asked. Lily was quiet for a moment. The ship that held us had a command core. A crystal matrix containing more power than a nuclear bomb. During one of their experiments, something went wrong. There was an accident. The core reached out to me, and I reached back. We merged. She stood up from her chair. The black armor rippled across her body like water. The air in the room grew thick with energy. Suddenly, the space around them filled with light. Holographic images appeared, floating in the air. Star maps, alien ships. Technical drawings that made no sense to anyone except Dr. Vance, who gasped. This is what I carry inside me, Lily said. The power of a Valari command ship. And this is what is coming for Earth. She pointed to a formation of vessels in the holographic display. There were more than 40 of them, each one massive beyond imagination. 42 warships. They will be here in 37 days. They are not coming to talk. They are coming to take every human who carries the resonance. And if Earth resists, they will destroy it. The room was silent. Outside, the world continued to turn, unaware that everything was about to change. What do you need from us? Colonel Price asked finally. Lily looked at him with eyes that had seen the darkness between stars. I need you to help me wake up humanity, because I cannot fight them alone. The days that followed Lily Monroe's arrival were filled with chaos. Despite every effort to keep her appearance secret, videos of her descent had spread across the internet within hours. By morning, her face was on every news channel in the world. Some called her an angel. Others called her a demon. Most people simply did not know what to think. Lily spent those first days in meetings. Government officials came from Washington. Scientists arrived from laboratories across the country. Military commanders flew in to ask questions and make demands. She answered them all with patience, even when she could see the doubt in their eyes. You expect us to believe this? General Howard Blake said during one meeting. He was a man who had spent 40 years in the Army. He had fought in wars and commanded thousands of soldiers. He did not believe in aliens. You want us to prepare for an invasion based on your word alone? Lily did not argue with him. Instead, she closed her eyes and let the power inside her flow outward. The holographic displays appeared again, filling the room with images of the Valori fleet. But this time, she showed them more. She showed them recordings from her own memories, captured by the crystal matrix that lived within her armor. They saw the inside of the alien ship. They saw the Valori themselves, tall creatures with gray skin and eyes that glowed with cold blue light. They saw the experiments, the human subjects strapped to tables while crystals were pressed against their skulls. They heard the screams. When Lily opened her eyes, General Blake's face had gone pale. "That is what they did to us," Lily said quietly. "That is what they will do to everyone on Earth if we do not stop them." The general nodded slowly. "What do you need?" "Time," Lily said. "And people. The resonance exists in all humans, but in most, it sleeps. I need to find those in whom it is strongest. I need to wake them up." Over the next 2 weeks, Lily worked with military scientists to develop a way to detect the resonance. The technology was crude compared to what the Valori used, but it worked. They built scanners that could measure the specific neural frequency that made humans special. The results surprised everyone. The resonance was not rare. It existed in every human they tested. But in some people, it burned brighter than others. These were the ones Lily needed. Her first recruit found her before she found him. Kevin Park was a 20-year-old sophomore studying music theory. He had always been different from other people, though he never understood why. He could hear sounds that others could not. Sometimes, late at night, he heard whispers that seemed to come from the walls themselves. He thought he was going crazy. Then Lily Monroe fell from the sky, and the whispers became screams. He found her outside the campus coffee shop on a gray morning. She was surrounded by security guards, but she looked up as he approached, as if she had been expecting him. "You heard the call," she said. It was not a question. Kevin nodded. "Ever since you arrived. It is like something is singing inside my head. It will not stop." Lily stepped forward. The guards moved to block Kevin, but she waved them away. She reached out and touched his forehead with 2 fingers. The contact lasted only a second, but in that moment, Kevin saw everything. He saw the universe as Lily saw it. He saw the web of energy that connected all things, the invisible pathways that ran between stars. He saw the Valori ships crossing the void of space, their crystal engines burning with power. He saw the beauty and the terror of a galaxy that humanity had never known existed. When Lily pulled her hand away, Kevin was crying. "What am I?" he whispered. "You are human," Lily said. "You are what we have always been. We just forgot." In the weeks that followed, Lily found 4 more people whose resonance burned as bright as Kevin's. Hannah Bishop was a senior studying engineering. She had always been able to understand machines in ways that seemed impossible. When she looked at an engine or a computer, she did not just see the parts. She saw the systems, the connections, the flow of energy and information. After Lily awakened her, Hannah could interface directly with Valori technology, reading its code like a book. Lucas Grant was a star athlete on the university's track team. He was fast and strong, but after his awakening, he became something more. His body learned to integrate with the crystal technology. He could move at speeds that blurred the line between human and machine. His reflexes enhanced beyond anything natural. Dr. Raymond Cole was a physics professor in his 60s. He had spent his entire career studying theories that his colleagues called impossible. Dark matter, quantum entanglement, the fabric of space-time itself. After Lily touched his mind, those theories suddenly made sense. He understood things that human science would not discover for another 1,000 years. The last recruit was the most unexpected. Maria Santos worked as a janitor in the university's science building. She was 52 years old and had never finished high school, but she had been hiding a secret her entire life. She could feel things that others could not. She knew when people were lying. She sensed danger before it arrived. She had always thought she was cursed. When Lily found her, Maria was terrified. "I do not want this," Maria said, backing away. "I have spent my whole life trying to ignore it, trying to be normal." Lily took her hand gently. "Normal is a lie we tell ourselves because the truth is too big to accept. You were never broken, Maria. You were just awake before everyone else." The six of them trained together in a secure facility outside the city. Lily pushed them hard. She taught them to channel their resonance, to reach out and touch the crystal technology that she carried. Slowly, they learned to create armor of their own, grown from fragments of power that Lily shared with them. 20-5 days after Lily's arrival, the group stood together on a rooftop, watching the sunset. "Do you think we can win?" Hannah asked. Lily was quiet for a long moment. The weight of everything she carried showed in her eyes. "The Valori have conquered hundreds of worlds," she said. "They have never lost a war. They have never met a species that could challenge them." She turned to look at her small group of awakened humans. "But they have never met us." "Not really. They think they understand what we are, but they only scratch the surface. What if it is not enough?" Kevin asked. Lily smiled, though there was sadness in it. "Then we will show them something new. Humanity does not know how to surrender. We fight even when we cannot win. We hope even when there is no reason to hope." She looked up at the sky, where the first stars were beginning to appear. "That is why they fear us. Not because of what we can do, because of what we refuse to stop doing." 12 days remained until the fleet arrived. The world had changed in the 30 days since Lily Monroe fell from the sky. Fear spread across every continent. Some people prayed. Others rioted. Governments struggled to maintain order as the truth of what was coming became impossible to deny. Telescopes around the world had detected the Valori fleet. It appeared as a cluster of strange lights moving through the darkness of space, growing brighter each night. Scientists confirmed what Lily had told them. The ships were real. The invasion was real. Humanity had 7 days left. In those final days, Lily drove her small team harder than ever before. They trained for 18 hours each day, sleeping only when their bodies could not continue. The facility that housed them had become a fortress, surrounded by military forces and protected by every weapon Earth could provide. But Lily knew those weapons would be useless against what was coming. "Again," she said, watching as Kevin tried to maintain his connection with a small crystal that floated before him. Sweat dripped down his face. His hands trembled with effort. The crystal was a fragment of Valori technology, grown from Lily's own armor. It pulsed with soft blue light, responding to Kevin's resonance. When he focused, he could feel its frequency, a sound that existed beyond normal hearing. His task was to change that frequency, to bend it to his will. "I cannot hold it," Kevin gasped. The crystal flickered and dropped to the floor. "You can," Lily said. "You are thinking too much. The resonance is not about force. It is about connection. You do not command the crystal. You become part of it." Kevin picked up the crystal and tried again. This time, Lily placed her hand on his shoulder. Through the contact, she shared a fragment of her own experience, showing him how she had first connected with the command core of the Valori ship. The crystal rose into the air. Its light changed from blue to gold. Kevin's eyes went wide as he felt the shift happen, not in the crystal, but in himself. "There," Lily said softly. "Now you understand." Across the room, Hannah was working with Dr. Cole on something far more ambitious. They had spent days studying the technical data that Lily carried in her memory, learning the architecture of Valori systems. Now, they were building something new. "If their ships use a unified command network," Hannah said, her fingers moving across a holographic display, "then we should be able to access it. Introduce chaos into their systems." Dr. Cole nodded. The resonance gives us a backdoor. They never expected anyone else to be able to interface with their technology at this level. Will it work? Maria asked. She stood nearby, watching them with worried eyes. Of all the awakened, she was the least confident in her abilities. She could sense emotions and danger, but she did not understand how that would help in a battle against alien warships. It will work, Hannah said. It has to. In another part of the facility, Lucas was testing the limits of his enhanced body. He moved through an obstacle course at speeds that made him blur, his reflexes so fast that he could catch bullets out of the air. The crystal technology had merged with his nervous system, making him something between human and machine. How do you feel? Asked the military doctor who was monitoring his performance. Lucas slowed to a stop. He looked at his hands, which were covered in thin lines of crystal that glowed beneath his skin. Different, he said. Stronger, faster, but still me. He clenched his fists. Is that strange? Everything about this is strange, the doctor admitted. That night, Lily called everyone together. They gathered in a small room with bare walls and uncomfortable chairs. Outside, the stars were hidden by clouds, but everyone knew the enemy was out there, getting closer with every passing hour. In 6 days, the Valori will reach Earth, Lily said. Their ships will enter orbit. They will demand our surrender. When we refuse, they will begin their attack. When we refuse? Kevin asked. You sound very certain. Humanity does not surrender, Lily said. I have seen what the Valori do to the species they conquer. Death is better. Is better. But we are not going to die. She stood and walked to the center of the room. The armor appeared around her, flowing out from her body like liquid shadow. The others watched as she raised her hand and created a holographic image of the enemy fleet. Their commander is called the Archon. He's the one who ordered the experiments on human subjects. He's the one who created me, though he did not mean to. She pointed to the largest ship in the fleet. He will be there in the flagship. If we can reach him, if we can destroy that ship, the rest of the fleet will fall into confusion. How do we reach him? Hannah asked. Those ships have shields that can withstand nuclear weapons. Lily smiled. Their shields are made of crystal technology. The same technology that responds to our resonance. Kevin will find the frequency. You and Raymond will attack their command network. Lucas and Maria will protect the ground. What about you? Maria asked. Lily's expression grew serious. I will face the Archon myself. The power I carry, the command core that merged with me, it was taken from a ship in his fleet. He wants it back. He will come for me. That sounds like a trap, Lucas said. It is, Lily agreed. But not for me. The room was quiet as everyone absorbed her words. They had known from the beginning that this fight would be dangerous. They had known they might not survive. But hearing Lily lay out the plan made it feel real in a way it had not before. Kevin was the first to speak. I never thought my life would mean anything, he said quietly. I was just a music student who heard strange sounds. Now I have a chance to help save my entire species. He looked at Lily with determination in his eyes. Whatever happens, I am ready. One by one, the others nodded their agreement. Hannah, Lucas, Dr. Cole, Maria. Lily looked at them, and for a moment, her hard expression softened. She had carried this burden alone for so long. She had escaped the Valori ship, believing she would have to face them by herself. Now she stood with 5 people who were willing to fight beside her, to risk everything for a world that did not even understand what it was about to lose. Thank you, she said. The words were simple, but they carried the weight of everything she could not say. Outside, beyond the clouds, the Valori fleet drew closer. 6 days remained. On the 36th day since Lily Monroe's arrival, the sky filled with light. People around the world stopped what they were doing and looked up. The Valari fleet had arrived. 42 ships dropped out of hyperspace just beyond the moon, their massive forms visible even from Earth's surface. Each vessel was miles long, covered in crystalline growths that pulsed with cold blue energy. They hung in the darkness of space like a promise of destruction. The message came 30 minutes later. It broadcast on every frequency, every channel, every device capable of receiving a signal. The voice that spoke was not human. It was cold and mechanical, translated into every major language on Earth. People of Earth, we are the Valori Dominion. We have watched your world for centuries. We know what you are. We know what you carry inside you. The message paused. Around the world, billions of people held their breath. Among you are individuals who possess what we call the resonance, a frequency in your primitive minds that allows you to interface with our technology. This ability belongs to us. These individuals belong to us. Another pause. Surrender the resonant one called Lily Monroe. Surrender all humans who carry the frequency. If you comply, we will take only those we require. The rest of your species will be granted a quick end. If you resist, we will burn your world to ash. You have 6 hours to respond. The message ended. Silence fell across the planet. In the secure facility where Lily and her team, chaos erupted. Military commanders shouted into phones. Government officials demanded answers. Scientists stared at screens showing the fleet's position, calculating how long it would take for those ships to reach the surface. Lily stood apart from the confusion. She had known this moment would come. She had spent 36 days preparing for it. Now it was here, and she felt strangely calm. "They are bluffing," she said quietly. Colonel Price turned to face her. "Bluffing? They have 42 warships in orbit. They want me. They want the power I carry. If they destroy Earth, they lose their chance to take it back." Lily walked to the window and looked up at the sky, where the distant lights of the fleet could be seen even in daylight. "The Archon will not risk destroying me. He needs me alive. What do we do?" Dr. Cole asked. "We do not surrender. We do not negotiate. We fight." The next 6 hours passed in a blur of activity. Military forces around the world mobilized. Every weapon, every aircraft, every ship was put on alert. It was not enough. Everyone knew it was not enough. But humanity would not go quietly. Lily gathered her team one final time. They stood in a circle, each of them now wearing armor grown from the crystal technology that Lily had shared. The armor was not as powerful as hers, but it was enough. It would have to be enough. "Remember your training," Lily said. "Remember what you are." The Valori have ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years because they believe they are superior to every other species. Today, we prove them wrong. Kevin nodded. His armor was silver, and it hummed with a frequency only he could hear. "I am ready." Hannah and Dr. Cole stood together. Their armor was connected, allowing them to share thoughts and work as a single mind. "The virus is ready," Hannah said. "Once we access their network, we can tear it apart from the inside." Lucas flexed his hands. His armor was heavier than the others, built for speed and strength. "Just point me at the enemy." Maria was quiet. She was still afraid, but she had found something stronger than fear. She had found purpose. "I will protect the people on the ground. That is where I belong." Lily looked at each of them in turn. These 5 people, ordinary humans a month ago, were now humanity's best hope. She felt pride swell in her chest. "Whatever happens today," she said, "remember that we have already won something. We showed them that humans do not surrender. We showed them that we can touch their technology and make it our own. Even if we fall, they will never forget us." The 6-hour deadline passed. Earth did not surrender. The Valori responded immediately. Landing craft detached from the warships and descended through the atmosphere. They fell like burning stars, hundreds of them, targeting military bases and major cities across the globe. Anti-aircraft fire rose to meet them, missiles and shells exploding against crystalline shields. Most of the weapons did nothing. A few landing craft fell, their shields overwhelmed by concentrated fire. But it was not enough to stop the invasion. Lily rose into the sky. She shot upward like a dark comet, her armor trailing streams of energy. The wind screamed around her as she accelerated, breaking through the clouds and continuing toward space. Below her, the awakened followed, each of them flying in ways that should have been impossible for human beings. The first Valori ship to fall was not destroyed by Lily. It was Kevin who brought it down. He flew toward a massive cruiser that was descending toward North America. Its shield shimmered with protective energy, deflecting the missiles that Earth's military fired at it. Kevin closed his eyes and listened. He heard the frequency of the shield, the vibration of the crystal that powered it. He found the weakness, the tiny flaw in the harmony dot, and then he sang. The note that came from his throat was not human. It was something older, something that resonated with the fabric of the universe itself. The sound struck the shield like a hammer. The crystal frequency shattered. The shield collapsed. Human fighter jets swarmed through the gap, their weapons finally able to reach the vulnerable hull beneath. The cruiser exploded in a ball of blue fire. Across the planet, the battle raged. Hannah and Dr. Cole merged their minds with the Valori command network. They found the pathways that connected the enemy ships, the communication channels that coordinated their attack. They introduced chaos, sending false orders, turning targeting systems against friendly vessels, creating confusion where there had been perfect coordination. Lucas led the defense on the ground. Enemy soldiers had begun to land, tall gray creatures in crystal armor, carrying weapons that could vaporize a human with a single shot. Lucas met them head-on. He moved so fast that the Valori could not track him, a blur of motion that struck with devastating force. Human soldiers rallied around him, fighting with new hope. Maria protected the civilians. She sensed danger before it arrived, guiding evacuation efforts and warning people moments before attacks hit. Her gift saved thousands of lives that day. And above it all, Lily rose toward the flagship. The Archon was waiting for her. He stood on the observation deck of his massive ship, watching the battle unfold below. He had commanded Valori fleets for 300 years. He had conquered 100 worlds. He had never lost. When Lily appeared before the ship, he smiled. "Welcome home," he said, his voice broadcasting directly into her mind. "You have been away too long." Lily did not respond with words. She attacked. The battle between them shook the stars themselves. The Archon emerged from his flagship to meet Lily in the void of space. His armor was massive, 3 times the size of hers, covered in crystals that had been growing for centuries. Power radiated from him in waves that made the stars seem dim. "You were our greatest experiment," the Archon said, his voice echoing directly in Lily's mind. "The first human to truly merge with our technology. We thought you would die like the others. Instead, you became something new." Lily floated before him, small against the backdrop of his enormous ship. Below them, Earth hung in the darkness, blue and green and beautiful. The battle continued across its surface, but here, between these two beings, there was only silence. "You took me from my home," Lily said. "You tortured me and the others. You wanted to use us as tools. We wanted to understand you." The Archon moved closer, his armored form blocking out the light from distant stars. "Humanity is an anomaly. Your species should be nothing. Primitive, weak. Yet your minds can touch our crystals in ways that even we cannot achieve. We needed to know why, And did you find your answer? The Archon was quiet for a moment. No, that is why we are here. To take you back. To study you further. To unlock the secret that humanity carries. Lily felt the power inside her stir. The command core that had merged with her body hummed with energy, responding to her emotions. 3 years of pain and fear and isolation crystallized into something hard and bright. You will not take me, she said. You will not take anyone. This ends today. The Archon laughed. It was a cold sound, without any warmth or humanity. You are one person. I command 42 warships. What can you possibly do? Lily smiled. Let me show you. She attacked. The impact of their collision sent shockwaves through space. Lily's armor met the Archon's with a sound like thunder. Energy erupted from the point of contact. Blue and gold light spiraling outward in patterns too complex for human eyes to follow. They fought with speed and power that defied physics, moving faster than thought. The Archon was strong. Centuries of experience guided his movements. His crystals drew power from his fleet, channeling the energy of 1,000 engines into his attacks. Each blow he landed cracked Lily's armor. Each strike pushed her back. But Lily had something he did not understand. She was not fighting for conquest. She was not fighting for power. She was fighting for the people below, the billions of humans who had no idea that their survival depended on this moment. She was fighting for Kevin and Hannah and Lucas and Dr. Cole and Maria. She was fighting for everyone the Valori had taken, everyone they had killed, that anger, that love, that desperate human need to protect. It flowed through her resonance and into the command core. The crystal technology responded to her emotions in ways that the Valori had never achieved. Their technology was cold, logical, precise. In Lily's hands, it became something else entirely. She began to glow. The light came from inside her armor, from inside her body. It was gold, the color of sunlight, warm and fierce. The Archon hesitated for the first time, sensing something he had never encountered before. What are you doing? He demanded. Lily did not answer. She spread her arms wide, and the power she carried reached outward. It touched the flagship behind the Archon. It touched the ships beyond. It spread through the entire fleet like fire through dry grass. The Valori had built their technology to respond to mental commands. They had designed their crystals to interface with intelligent minds. But they had always assumed their minds would be the only ones capable of true control. They had never imagined that a human could reach so deep, could connect so completely, could transform the very nature of their creations. Lily transformed them. The crystals that powered the Valori warships changed color. Blue became gold. Cold became warm. The weapons that had been preparing to burn Earth to ash went dark. The engines that drove the ships through space fell silent. The shields that protected the vessels dissolved into nothing. The Archon screamed. His armor, connected to the command network of his fleet, convulsed as the change ripped through it. His crystals cracked. His power faded. This is impossible, he gasped. You cannot do this. No one can do this. Lily floated before him, still glowing with golden light. You spent 10,000 years believing you were the masters of this technology. You never stopped to ask if something else might master it better. She reached out and touched his chest plate, her fingers pressing against the crystal that housed his consciousness. Humanity is not your tool. We are not your experiment. We are something you never expected. She pushed. The Archon shattered. His armor exploded outward, crystal fragments scattering into space. The mind that had commanded the Valori fleet for 3 centuries was gone in an instant, erased by a power he had never understood. Around Earth, the Valori fleet died. Ships that had threatened to destroy humanity hung motionless in orbit, their systems dark, their crews confused and helpless. Human military forces moved in, securing the vessels, capturing the survivors. Lily hung in space, exhausted. The golden light faded from her body. Her armor was cracked and damaged, barely holding together. But she was alive. They were all alive. She looked down at Earth, at the planet she had left 3 years ago as a frightened young woman. So much had changed. So much had been lost. But humanity had survived. More than survived. They had won. 1 year later, Lily Monroe stood before the United Nations General Assembly. The chamber was packed with representatives from every nation on Earth. Cameras broadcast her, words to billions of people watching around the world. She was not wearing her armor. She wore simple clothes, her scarred face visible for all to see. Beside her stood Kevin, Hannah, Lucas, Dr. Cole, and Maria, the 6 humans who had saved their species. 1 year ago, we faced extinction, Lily said. The Valori came to harvest us, to use us, to end us. They believed we were nothing, a primitive species on a small planet in a vast galaxy. She paused and looked out at the assembly. They were wrong. We are not nothing. We are not primitive. We carry something inside us that even the masters of a 10,000-year empire could not understand. They called it the resonance. I call it something simpler. I call it being human. The awakened stood taller. Thousands of people around the world had been identified with strong resonance frequencies since the invasion. They were being trained, prepared, integrated into a new kind of defense force. The Valori were not alone in this galaxy. There are other empires out there, other powers that have watched humanity and wondered what we might become. Some of them are ancient beyond imagining. Some of them make the Valori look like children. She let that sink in before continuing. They will come. Others will come. The universe is not safe, and we cannot pretend otherwise. But we have learned something important this year. We have learned that we are not helpless. The power to face these threats does not come from technology alone. It comes from us, from what we are, from what we have always been. Lily smiled. It was a warm expression, full of hope. The universe was afraid of humanity long before we knew we had anything to fear. Now we understand why. And now we are ready. She stepped back from the podium. The chamber erupted in applause. Outside, the sun was shining. The sky was clear. And somewhere far above, in orbit around Earth, captured Valori ships were being studied by human scientists, their secrets slowly being unlocked. It was the beginning of a new age. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger universe. And whatever waited out there in the darkness between stars would find that the small planet called Earth was no longer defenseless. The woman who had arrived on campus, clad in armor, had become something more. She had become a symbol, a promise, a reminder that even the smallest spark can become a fire that lights up the galaxy. And the power she held inside had indeed shattered their world. But from the pieces, something new was being built. Something wonderful. Something human.